Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We are looking at all three sides of the connection. We've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it, the concept being that there are three sides to every story. So we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of this connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. As I do in all of my readings, I pulled the overall energy and clarified those messages, as well as the overall theme for the reading, which I'll jump into in just a second. But I still have a different tarot deck I will be pulling from for each side of this connection, as well as the advice deck I will be using to close out the reading in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, take what helps, leave what doesn't. Trying to keep that intro under a minute 15 seconds for you guys. All right, Sagittarius, let's jump on in. On your side of this connection, you have karmic with the Four of Cups in reverse. So right out of the gate, there's something karmic going on here. A pretty intense lesson, I feel like, that this connection is associated with. Now, there's something that I don't know if it's that you're not seeing or that hasn't come to light yet, but the overall theme of the reading, I'm just going to jump ahead here, is guides. So I feel as if your spiritual guides, your spiritual team are trying to bring something into your awareness with this connection, or about this connection. I don't really know which one that's referring to yet, but I do definitely feel with the Four of Cups in reverse, that can mean not necessarily that you're not seeing things clearly, but that you're focusing on an aspect that isn't as important as another. Again, I don't really know what that means, like in terms of how it applies to this connection yet. We'll see when we dive into tarot, but because this is just overall energy. But this person, they have inevitable with the Knight of Swords here. So I definitely feel like this person ran. Like I feel like pushed away this connection, are running from this connection, pushed you away. And this inevitable card is interesting because it's almost as if it's saying that their behavior in this was inevitable, like from the beginning. Like there's nothing you could have done, there's nothing you could have said, there's nothing that you could have, anything different that you could have shown up as to change this person's behavior. So I don't know, and maybe that's what you're focusing on. Maybe you're focusing on like, what could I have done different, or what, but the cards are saying like this person was going to run from this regardless. So I don't know. It's really interesting how the messages are coming out, because then in between the connection you have, there will be a return with the Judgment in reverse. Now the Judgment in reverse is an energy of needing to see through kind of like rose-colored glasses, or through the truth that we want to see, like to the nitty-gritty truth of what's really going on. So this person ran, there's going to be a return, but there's something that you're needing to see, if we were going to sum this all up. But yeah, I don't know. It's quite interesting looking at it from this perspective. But let's jump in to your side here. That's just the overall energy. So let's see, Sagittarius, what you're dealing with. So Sagittarius' side of the connection to the person they are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. Temperance in reverse. I saw that on the bottom of the deck, and I thought it was really interesting because obviously it's Sagittarius energy, and I was like, I don't know, I just feel like this, it doesn't surprise me that that card has come out, I guess is what I'm trying to say here, because it's obvious that you're very frustrated. Like you're very frustrated. You're very like, I don't know, because it can kind of mean impatience, wanting things to be different than they are right now. And so you have this this Hermit in reverse card too on the bottom of the deck here. And the Hermit in reverse can be this energy of, feeling alone, feeling lonely, feeling as if no matter what you do, it doesn't impact the connection in a positive way. Like, no matter how hard you try, no matter what you show up as, no matter how much you give, it just feels as if you're left feeling kind of alone, kind of like maybe you're not valued, heard, seen, and that's of course gonna be very frustrating to you, because you're gonna say, how come no matter what I do, it doesn't matter. But that's why I feel like this inevitable with the Knight of Swords is so important here, because it's like this is gonna happen regardless. But anyway, I'm gonna keep going. So you're obviously frustrated with how things have been, where things are at, maybe even frustrated with yourself, and I feel like there might be a need to give yourself a little bit more grace. Sagittarius is side of the connection, but I want to know what you're frustrated about. Like, I want to know what's really going on. Getting a little nosy. The Ace of Swords, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Okay. So the reason that because I feel like you're feeling a little heartbroken in this connection here, and because of this person's behavior, they're running. They're kind of pushing the connection away. And it started to make you feel like you're never going to have what it is that you desire in love with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. It's making you go, I'm never, it doesn't matter how hard I try. I did the best I could in this connection, and this person still, pushed me away, or still left me, or still ran from me, or still cheated on me, or whatever the case is. And it has you going, I'm not going to be able to have what it is that I want and desire, because I gave so much and it didn't even matter in the end. Like, that's what you're saying. That's what I feel like you're thinking and feeling. It's not, and that's where I feel like that Four of Cups in reverse is coming into play, because I feel as if this isn't about what you did or didn't do or could have done or should have done. This is about the type of experience that you're attracting. And I feel like, you have this, on some level, Sagittarius, a deep-seated belief that you can't have what you desire when it comes to your relationships, whether it's romantic, platonic. You have this kind of belief that you're never going to have what it is that you want. And that almost gets proven to you in your connections, because, again, you give so much. You give everything you have to them in the best way you know how. And I'm not saying you don't make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. But you're allowed to make mistakes and still be able to receive the love that you deserve and desire. But it just feels like even when you try, like in this connection, like you gave everything you knew how, and it didn't seem to matter in the end. But I feel like that's not true. Like, I feel like this person's behavior doesn't have much to do with like what you did or didn't do. Like I said, I feel like there's something deeper going on here, and that's what I feel your guides are trying to bring to the surface. So, because this Ace of Swords is kind of a breakthrough, a moment of clarity, like a truth behind what's really going on, which can be really hard to see when we're all caught up in our emotions. All right, Sagittarius, the side of the connection. But there's something karmic going on here. There's a karmic lesson associated, which I feel like we'll get to kind of the root of. The Three of Cups in reverse. Four of Cups in reverse. Okay. So here's the thing. I feel like a lot of your focus in this connection was coming from this place of, because here's the Three of Cups in reverse. I don't feel like this connection is currently together, at least not in the way that you want it to be, or in the way that like it once was. Like, there's definitely a distance here between you and this person. Now, see the Queen of Pentacles and the King of Wands with the Four of Cups in reverse. Same Four of Cups in reverse as we have right there. I feel a lot of your energy in this connection went toward trying to be what you felt the other person wanted. Focusing on trying to become whatever you felt that this person wanted or needed, so that they would, I don't know if it's like stick around, see your value. Now, I feel like that could, I'm not sitting here saying, man, you're so desperate, Sagittarius. That's not what I'm talking about at all. What I'm saying is, I feel like you started to prioritize this person's needs and desires quite a bit more than your own in this connection. And even in doing that, it still seemingly wasn't enough, right? Because you over-prioritized them, what they needed, what they wanted, did whatever you could to be what you felt that they were looking for, and in your mind, it still wasn't enough. But it's not that it wasn't enough. It's that I feel as if you were coming from this place of believing you had to be something different or more or better than you were to be able to be loved in the way that you were ultimately deserving of. And that is never true. Now, we come to believe that that's true because of what we've learned from our past relationships, from our childhood, from society. We start to, believe, oh, well, if I'm not more attractive, if I'm not wealthier, if I'm not, I'm more attractive if I don't have needs. It's almost as if we believe that if we aren't these things, that we're not going to be able to have what it is that we want. So we do all that we can to become more than we are to be loved. And in the process of that, we kind of lose who we really are. And this is what happens when we lose ourselves in relationships, because we start to become about what the other person wants, needs, and desires, and we lose, what it is that we want and desire. We start saying, how can I be enough for you, instead of looking at it from a place of, is this enough for me? Am I happy? Am I safe? Are my needs being taken care of? Because we start to believe that making sure that the other person's needs are good so that they see that we're valuable, lovable, worthy, and they stick around. And that's where that chaser-runner dynamic starts to come into play. And I feel like that's kind of what happened here. Now, that might be very not like you in a way, Sagittarius, because I kind of get this feeling that the way you acted in this connection was like different than you've acted before. Now, maybe you've never felt this way before, or you saw so much potential here and you wanted to do everything in your power to make it work. So I'm not saying that you did anything wrong by any means. I'm saying there's something deeper going on here, and this person's behavior didn't have anything to do with you not being enough. And I feel like because of the way they acted, because of the way that they handled things, it makes you feel like you are not enough, no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try. But the thing is, you were always enough. You've been enough this whole time. It's just that I feel you've had a hard time believing that who you are at your core, flaws, mistakes, and all, that you're enough for the love that you seek. So you were trying to adapt to what you felt this person needs. And in the process, Sagittarius, I feel like you lost yourself a little bit, which is natural and okay. But I think that, especially with this, there will be a return energy, it's really important that you learn what you need to from how things played out so that you don't repeat this, because I feel like it's been very painful for you. I feel like I covered all that. I do. Okay. I don't know why, no matter whether they come out upright or reverse, I tend to always, take the reversed cards for some reason. All right, Sagittarius' side of the connection. I feel like it helps me understand or, remember the message associated with all the cards that came out. All right, Sagittarius' side of the connection. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm, getting all into it. I want to know what's going on here, but let's see what they're dealing with. This might give us some insight into why this is affecting you the way that it is. All right, this person's energy towards Sagittarius plays inevitable with the Knight of Swords. Person's energy towards Sagittarius, please. Huh. Weird. Okay, Justice in reverse is a star. 5 of Swords. Okay. I mean, there's no doubt that this person pushed you away, especially seeing the Knight of Swords and the Five of Swords. Like, I feel they put up a wall. I feel they intentionally created distance between you and them. And I feel as if a big part of their reason for that was things that they haven't healed from with the star here. Things that they haven't addressed from their past, which is typically the way that it goes. Trust issues, abandonment, betrayal, feelings of being unlovable, not good enough that have stemmed from past issues, whatever the case is. And it feels as if they kind of brought that into the connection and projected a lot of it onto you. Now, with the Justice in reverse, I don't really feel like they're taking a whole lot of accountability for that. They might want to be chased. I kind of get that vibe from this person. They might kind of enjoy being chased, enjoy that energy of having someone desire them. I think that that's a lot of why the dynamic kind of ended up being the way that it was in this connection. You know, some people get their validation from running and being chased, and some people enjoy getting validation from chasing and getting what they desire from that chase, you know? Either way, the underlying root of being unlovable, being not good enough is there. And it's often mirrored in whatever person that you're experiencing that chaser-runner dynamic with. So, I don't know. I feel like, well, I want to know, like, what this inevitable is about, though. Because I feel like this person with the Five of Swords, there's very much this wall that they have up. This, you know, fortress of protecting themselves. And I feel like you did everything in your power to break that down, but you were unsuccessful in that. This person's energy towards Sagittarius. Ace of Cups in reverse. I mean, that's repression, emotional repression, pushing down how they feel, not facing it, ignoring, distracting. You know, I think that we often forget that in order for people to be honest and vulnerable with us, to, you know, to tell us how they feel, to be open and, you know, provide us with, like, truly who they are, take the mask off and be who they are, they have to first do that with themselves. And if someone is refusing to kind of face themselves, then they're not going to want to face you, because you're going to require them to face themselves, and they don't want to have to do that. So that's why people put up walls. They put up walls and they push other people away because they don't want to, they don't like themselves enough to let other people in. They don't want to face themselves. And I feel like that's a lot of what this person, like, was doing, which is why this running was inevitable. They weren't ever going to let you get too close, because they haven't dealt with the parts of themselves that keep them in a position of pushing people away. And that right there is kind of where, you know, we can't force other people to heal, to face themselves, to grow, to evolve, right? We can't love people into it. We can't shame people into it. We can't guilt people into it. We cannot do anything to push people to do the things that we want them to do. And one of the best things I ever learned is, you know, people can only show up in our life as they are today. And I think we often have a tendency of seeing the good in someone to the extent that it ends up like not being a good thing, because we see, you know, who they could be if they would let that guard down, if they would, you know, let us in and things of that nature. And so we keep investing and we keep trying to do everything in our power to get them to put that guard down, to say, look, I'm valuable, I'm lovable, I'm deserving of, or I have so much to offer you. If you would just put that guard down, like, I can love you, I can be there for you. But then when that guard doesn't come down, you know, they kind of keep building that fortress back up. You start to go, why am I not good enough for being able to break this person's, you know, fortress down? Why do they not see the value in letting me in? When in fact, has nothing to do with you at all. It has everything to do with what this person is dealing with and their ultimately their capacity to let people in and to love and give and receive it in a healthy manner. So, a lot going on here. And a lot that doesn't have anything to do with you at all. Even though I feel like you've taken this person not letting you in as a sign that you're never going to have what it is that you desire and deserve, which isn't true. But you've given them the power. This person's energy towards Sagittarius. Yeah, there's the lack of action. Here's the thing. I feel like you're waiting on them. I feel like you're waiting on them, Sagittarius, in some way. Waiting on them to change, to see your value, to wake up. With the Hierophant, you could be waiting on them to wake up, to have a change of heart, to see what they're missing out on. Like, it's like you're waiting on them, which in some way is still chasing. Because you might be like, oh, I'm not chasing with words or actions, but you're chasing energetically, because I do still get this feeling that you're waiting on this person to change. Now, maybe you're waiting on them to apologize. You feel like you need them to apologize before you can heal. Maybe you're waiting on them to admit and take accountability for the ways that they've hurt you, because you think that if they don't do that, you know, you're never going to be able to move forward. Whatever the case is, a lot of what this reading is talking about is taking back this power that you've given them. Because yes, you're very frustrated with their behavior and how things are at, or where things are at, how things are going, but you can't control them. And the more that we try to control other people, the more we actually completely give over our power. And we say, you know, if you don't do these things, I can't be happy, healthy, loved, abundant, successful, whatever the case is. And when we do that, that's where we lose ourselves, because we start to say, I need this person, you know, in order to be happy. I need this person in order to be loved. But you don't need anybody but yourself. And what I mean by that is you have the ability to give yourself everything that you deserve and desire. And when you kind of believe that, you start to reflect it in your relationships, because our relationships are always a reflection of our relationship with ourselves. If you don't feel good enough, other people are going to make you not feel good enough. If you don't feel desired or deserving or lovable, other people are going to make you feel undeserving and unlovable. And we often blame the other person and say, well, you are the one who is making me feel this way, when in reality, they're just bringing to the surface something that's already there. Now, I'm not saying it's not this person that shouldn't take accountability or responsibility. I'm saying there's no guarantee they will. And so what is within your power and your control so that you can heal and grow from this in a way that allows you the freedom to be able to receive what it is that you've been looking for, what it is that you're deserving of. All right, this is for Sagittarius' side of the connection. Oof. So Sagittarius' energy toward this person. You could be dealing with a water sign, but this is interesting, because this is how you're showing up. You're showing up as this King of Cups. Emotionally intelligent, open, honest, vulnerable, compassionate, caring. Like, it's like this really wonderful energy that I feel you brought to this connection. I don't feel like you got this in return at all, Sagittarius. I don't feel like you have experienced even an ounce of this energy from this person. Now, I'm not saying they like never cared about you or anything like that. I just feel like in terms of, you know, how they made you feel, you know, safe, loved, accepted, valued, like you can trust them. I don't feel like you ever really had that kind of experience in this connection. So my question to you, well, actually, I'm not going to ask. Well, yeah, no. My question is, if this person never showed up in the way that you were desiring, Why do you believe that them not showing up in the way that you desire is a sign that you can't have what you desire? Instead of looking at it from the perspective of maybe it's not about, maybe I'm not asking for too much. Maybe what I'm asking for is exactly right. The vulnerable, everything that I have to give, right? The vulnerability, the honesty, the openness, the compassion. Maybe it's not about what you're asking for, it's about who you're asking for it from. Because it's almost as if you have so much to get, and I promise there are people out there that are meant to be in your life that are able to match your energy. But it's like you were looking for this person to match your energy, and they continued to show you that they could not. And then you got frustrated with the fact that they continued to show up as they are instead of as you want them to be, which I'm not saying that as you want them to be isn't what you deserve, and I'm also not saying it might be actually what is best for them. But if this person doesn't want to face themselves, if they don't want to heal, if they don't want to grow, if they don't want to take action in ways that make them better, they're not going to do it. If they're not doing it for themselves, Sagittarius, they're certainly not going to do it for you. And that does not mean that you are not valuable. It means that they don't see the value in themselves enough to change. So why would you take it personally that they don't see the value in you to make these changes? And that's what one of the best things my therapist ever taught me is that we cannot take other people's capacities to love personally because it doesn't have anything to do with us. Sagittarius side of this connection. Five of Wands. Why are you conflicted? You're conflicted here. Why is Sagittarius conflicted? It's like you're conflicted in terms of how you feel about this person. Maybe one day you're like, oh, I really miss them and I care about them and I love them. And then the next day you're like, I hate them. I'm so, not actually, but like I'm so mad at them. I'm so angry. You know, I feel like there's a confliction in how you feel about them. Let me clarify this. It doesn't necessarily need to be like that, but like you're like, I don't know if it's, whoa. There it is. Eight of Swords with the Five of Cups. You're conflicted because this person continues to disappoint you. But you don't believe you could ever have anything better than what they have to provide you. That Eight of Swords right there, it's this right here is kind of the key, I feel like, to this whole reading. This belief that this person is as good as it can get. That if this person doesn't, if you and this person don't figure it out, that you're never going to have what it is you ultimately deserve and desire. That's why you're conflicted. And we also talked about that with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. You believe that if this person doesn't drop the walls, make the change, face themselves, that it's going to directly affect your ability to be happy. And that right there is so not true. And it's so important that you're able to take your power back in that way. Because the more we give other people the power over our own happiness, the less that we have power over our own happiness, because we start to determine that this other person gets to decide whether or not we're happy. And when we do that, we're going to take literally everything that they do personally. So yeah, this Eight of Swords is kind of this key to the whole thing, because you're like, yeah, this person continues to disappoint me, but I keep holding on. I keep holding out. I keep waiting, because what if this is as good as it can get? You know, if I walk away, if I leave this person behind, what if I never have anything better? What if I never have the opportunity to have whatever is as good as this connection can be? And I get that. I've been there for sure. But I can also tell you that looking the potential of somebody, the potential of a connection is something that doesn't exist. And we never, ever, ever, ever want to invest in something because of potential. We want to invest in something because we like what it is and we want to grow with it, right? But you're obviously not happy with where things are at in this connection. I don't feel like you have been for a while, Sagittarius. And the best thing that you can do is figure out how you can take your power back in this situation, because this person has entirely too much control and power over you at this time, and they don't deserve that. You know, you deserve to have that kind of power and control over yourself. Sagittarius is side of the connection. There you are. Queen of Wands, Two of Wands. Ah! Whoa, okay. Queen of Wands, Two of Wands, Page of Cups, Ten of Cups. Doesn't matter if you're male or female. This connection and the karmic lesson associated. So whatever it is, taking your power back here is ultimately, I feel like, that's a very vague, overarching, way to explain this karmic lesson, but best way I can do in a general reading. Taking your power back from the connection, and how this connection is pushing you to do that is actually getting you into alignment with your Ten of Cups. So this connection and everything that it is teaching you is pushing you to grow in ways that you wouldn't have if it didn't happen, so that you can ultimately have what you're looking for. So this is not a sign that you can't have what you desire. This is actually the universe pushing you closer to it. But this karmic situation, this karmic cycle, this karmic lesson was in the way. It was in between you and your Ten of Cups. So you can still have your Ten of Cups. Your Ten of Cups are still very much yours. I'm not saying that means that it's going to be in the form of this person. I'm also not saying that it's not. What I'm saying is the more that we take our power back from other people and we focus on what we can control, and we love ourselves enough to make the best decision for us when we're hurting, that's what attracts the love that we're truly deserving and desiring in our life. The more that we stay in situations where we're undervalued, where we feel the way that you've been feeling, the more you're going to attract the same. We attract what we show up as. But let's get more. This person's energy towards Sagittarius. This person's energy toward Sagittarius, please. Yeah. This person really has quite the past here. They have quite the past, quite the history. A lot of baggage. And this baggage shines through as this belief that they're unlovable. And I said this. I said, I feel like they're pushing this away because of things that they've been through and the beliefs that they've adopted because of those things. And that's literally why, with the Knight of Pentacles in reverse, they stopped moving forward with this. Because it brought up, we as human beings actually have a tendency to push away what we desire and to chase after, or let me think of a better way to say this. We prefer an unfamiliar hell. Goodness, we prefer a familiar hell over an unfamiliar heaven. So this person feels more comfortable pushing away genuine love and staying in that place of running because no, they're not happy, but facing the parts of themselves that feels unlovable and undeserving of love that you have to provide is too much for them. They don't want to do that. So they'd rather just run because it's easier. It's predictable. They're used to it. They know they can survive it. And so they're going to keep doing that. And none of that literally has anything to do with you. And that's why it's so important that you understand that this person, it's almost as if you're taking this person's trauma personally. And I'm not saying, I'm just trying to put it into perspective. Like, you're not doing anything wrong. That's kind of just the way that humans work. But looking at this person and saying, why won't you love me or choose me or let me in or open up or put those walls down or show up or whatever the case is you saying, why won't you heal from your past for me? When in reality, if they're not healing for them, why would they heal for you? People can only love other people to the extent they love themselves. They can only show up for us to the extent they show up for themselves. They can only be for us what they are for themselves. They're running from themselves. They don't want to face themselves. So they're not going to face this connection. And there is nothing, Sagittarius, and I want you to, if you're going to take anything from this reading, there is nothing you can do to change that. Okay, you cannot change other people. And the more that we try and we say, Look at how much value I have to provide you. Please see my value. Please see how much I have to give you so that I feel lovable. The less we're going to feel lovable when the other person doesn't change for us. And other people not changing for us has nothing to do with us. And so we have to learn to let people be who they are, accept them as they are, love them as they are, and distance ourselves accordingly. Decide for ourselves, is this good enough for me? Not, am I good enough for them? Why can't I be good enough for them? But is this good enough for me? Because that is really all that matters. We don't want to confuse how we feel about someone with how they make us feel. Because if someone is making you feel lonely and unloved and not good enough and not valued and all those things that you feel in this connection, well, then that isn't good enough for you, even if you feel things for that person. Because you deserve to both feel things for someone and also feel good about the way that they make you feel. This person's energy towards Sagittarius. This is a longer reading. Yeah, because there's the undervaluing right there. This person is absolutely and did absolutely take you for granted in this connection. That does not mean you don't have value. What was it? I said this in a reading yesterday, but if someone hands you, or if you hand someone a handful of diamonds and they throw those diamonds in the trash, you're not going to question the value of the diamonds. You're going to wonder why the hell that person threw those diamonds away. So if someone doesn't value what you have to give, that doesn't mean that you don't have value. That means that they are throwing away something that is valuable, and that's about them. That's not about you at all. This person's energy towards Sagittarius. Last card, this person's energy towards Sagittarius. Yeah. This person thinks highly of you. They do. And I actually feel like that's part of the reason with the Eight of Wands in reverse, that's part of the reason why they're not moving forward with this. Part of the reason why things aren't progressing here is because they see that potential, because it makes them face themselves and look at all the reasons they don't feel that they're deserving of love, right? You have this love to give, you show up with it, they don't feel deserving of it, so they're going to push it away and probably justify it in some way, shape, or form, because that's a hell of a lot easier than looking at themselves and saying, why don't I feel deserving of love? And having to face the trauma and the pain and the healing associated with that. Very few people, I don't want to say very few people, but a lot of people in this world are running from healing and from choosing to face themselves and, do the therapy and the self-work and the shadow work and all that. But there are also people who are, and those are our people. You deserve someone who can match your energy, who's on the level that you are when it comes to your personal and healing journey. And the more that you focus on that, on your own personal healing journey, the more you're going to attract people that align with that. But we're going to hop on over to the extended. There will be a return with the Judgment in reverse. I have 9 different messages I'm going to pull, as well as an advice card to close out the reading. A week from this Friday, I'm hosting my first ever workshop, but it's how to attract the love that you deserve and desire. It's taking place on April 5th. It's a live workshop taking place over Zoom. If you cannot attend the live event, it's at 6 p.m. Central Time that Friday. But if you can attend the live event and you purchase a ticket, you will still receive the recording the next day. You'll receive a recording whether you attend or not. But the benefit to attending is that I am doing a 15 to 20 minute Q&A session at the end of it. And if you are not in attendance, obviously you won't be able to ask questions, but you will still receive the recording of that Q&A session, like I said, the next day. So any information for that is at the top of the description box below. If you have any questions at all, feel free to shoot me an email. That email address is and always will be in the description box below as well. Otherwise, thank you so much, Sagittarius, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Sagittarius, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Sagittarius.